And staying in Washington now, and to that emotional scene that played out today on the House floor.
Our hero, our colleague, our brother, our friend, received and answered his final summons from God Almighty.
The House honoring the memory of legendary Congressman John Lewis, who died over the weekend at the age of 80. His colleagues joined in a moment of silence, and then a round of applause for the civil rights icon, the last living speaker from the 1963 March on Washington. And joining us now is longtime colleague and close friend of Congressman Lewis, Representative Maxine Waters of California. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
I'm delighted to be with you, and I'm so appreciative for the time that's been given to the life and times of John Lewis.
Let's start with that as well. I mean, so much going on, but just to take a moment to have you reflect on the life and legacy of the congressman, what he meant to you personally, and also what he meant, how he loomed so large for the country.
John Lewis, as you know, and as everyone knows by now, was an extraordinary man, an unusual human being who from a very early age understood that something was wrong with discrimination, with racism. At 17 years old, he got involved in the civil rights movement. And again, as it has been said over and over again, he was only 23 years old when he was able to speak at the March on Washington, D.C. He worked with Dr. Martin Luther King. He headed the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, and he continued. He was consistent in everything that he did on the issue of opening up this country for fairness and for justice and for support of the Constitution of the United States for everyone's right to participate equally in this democracy. And so I knew John before I came to Congress, and I knew about his work and what he was doing. And I remember when he ran for Congress in a very tough race. And when I came to Congress, I can remember looking at him and thinking that this civil rights icon is someone who is not only emerging as a leader of the Congress of the United States, he's going to be able to give the Congress and the House of Representatives the kind of direction that's going to lead us to a better place. And so when John Lewis took the floor, everybody got quiet because they knew that he had something important to say, and everyone listened to him. He was perhaps the most highly respected member of the House of Representatives ever since I have been here. But along with his work, he always advocated nonviolence. In whatever he said and whatever he did, whenever he talked to young people, it was about being able to stand up and fight, but about nonviolence.
And of course, he had said and gone on record recently saying there's still a lot of work to be done for sure. I do want to turn now to the ongoing fight against the coronavirus. Your state of California seemed to have had a handle on the virus after the initial surge this spring, but we're now starting to see that summer spike, including in your city of Los Angeles. Do you think that LA will need to have another full lockdown in order to get things under control?
Well, I think we're headed there. The governor has already come out with, mandating that everybody wears a mask and that he's locking down. I don't know how far it has gone, but we did very well, as you said, early on. But I think the pressure from all of those governors and states that were opening up caused a lot of pressure to be put on him, and he began to open up. And I don't think that he really wanted to do that, but he started it. And of course, people flocked to the beaches and the bars, etc. And so now we have that surge. We're right up there with what is happening in Florida and in Texas and Arizona. And, as Dr. Fauci has said, this is not a new surge. This is a continuing surge that has taken us up in ways that we did not think would happen to us in California because we were doing so well.
And Congress is also back in Washington and working on another possible round of economic stimulus. Are you concerned that the two sides won't be able to get on the same page before Americans start to feel even more economic pain in the coming weeks, especially regarding those expanded unemployment benefits that are set to expire?
Well, you know, what I'm continuously surprised about is the fact that we have Republican members, in the Senate led by McConnell, who will not, and seems as if they are afraid to, oppose the President of the United States, who has failed in his leadership on this issue. It is absolutely unthinkable that we here in the United States could be failing in the way that we're doing when we have so many other countries who've always looked up to us, and smaller countries who are doing so well. And so it's in the hands of the United States Senate, and we expect that they're either going to have to come into negotiations in a credible way, knowing and understanding what the situation is in this country, knowing and understand that COVID-19 is surging.
And lastly, just switching gears here, I want to ask you about a moment that's popped up on social media showing you at a police stop and saying they stopped a brother, so I stopped to see what they were doing. Just explain what happened and why you felt that it was necessary for Auntie Maxine to get involved.
Well, absolutely. Fresh on my mind is what happened with George Floyd. Fresh on my mind is what happened with Eric Garner. Fresh on my mind is the fact that unarmed Black men are being killed by the people that we pay to protect and serve us. And so, of course, when I witnessed another Black man being stopped pretty early in the morning by the police, I wanted to know what was going on. They did let the young man go after they had stripped him down. They had taken his shirt, they'd taken his jacket, they'd even taken off his boots and all of that. They were not perhaps too happy that I was watching, and they told me to move my vehicle. I did that. And I stood there, and they said they were going to give me a ticket because I had not parked correctly. I invited them to do just that. If they felt they needed to give me a ticket, please do that. And then when they wanted to force me to sign the ticket, I told them I could not do that. I would not do that. And they said that did I know I could be arrested if I did not sign the ticket to guarantee my appearance. I told them I did not intend to appear anywhere. And if they needed to, and it was their duty, and they felt they needed to arrest me, feel free to do so, because I was not going to sign the ticket. They called out a captain who came, who I think, told them that perhaps it was not necessary to talk about ticketing me, and they should not give me a ticket. And so it was all over.
Congresswoman Maxine Waters, we thank you so much for your time.
You're so welcome. And thank you for all of the time that you're given for John Lewis, our hero.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.